Good news, everyone! Patch notes are back! That's right. The first patch for Season 8 is here, even though Season 8 itself isn't here. Nevertheless, we have much to discuss, like Kayle nerfs, and Graves buffs, and bug fixes, and changes to bonuses on the resolve tree. Get cozy and stay tuned, everyone. It's podcast time.
Welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message, hit the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi-Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try and force in some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. These boys are second to none. Now that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
And there we are. We are live with episode 501 of the Trinity Force Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. I have to set up my scenes properly so that I can properly get this out to you all on YouTube. I hope everybody out there listening enjoyed episode 500. I had one tweet and a couple other things pop out that said people really enjoyed what they were listening to. One guy said he was in stitches.
Better than I thought it was while doing it.
Yeah, I listened to it afterward as well. I don't usually do that, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty entertaining." So
That was all right.
I was
haven't heard it
entertained.
yet. I'll give you my verdict soon.
you're gonna be
sure it's
embarrassed.
great.
You're gonna be
I'm sure
embarrassed by your colleagues here.
Or
I'm
you
sure
might
it's
be
gonna be
relieved
great.
that you weren't there.
No,
is
you
that
mi-
crazy? Hey,
No, you missed out on all of the awesome trivia action. You see,
I know. I heard that you guys are doing trivia, and I was quite upset that to work. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
But, make every episode except that one.
maybe I'll bring back trivia before episode 600. Maybe I'll just bring it back because it's fun to do every 25 episodes
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah, I'm going to be sick that day.
And Punch is going to make sure he's there leading the charge that day.
Kled style.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, he's going to be the Kled of the podcast.
I'll
Or
answer
Punch.
every question first.
With I don't know.
With a yes
Yes.
or no,
I don't care.
or same. Those are the
Or
only
2 million.
answers.
Well, I hear Punch likes patch
Can't believe I
notes,
got
and that's
that
what
wrong.
we're talking about
Oh, I
tonight.
love
Patch
patch notes.
8.1 is hit the rift. We are starting rolling into seasons 8 as it starts on January 16th. They said the early morning of January 16th, season 8 starts, meaning you won't have a rank anymore. You'll have to do your placement matches, and yes, we will go over again as we do every year whether or not you should jump into them, pull off the band-aid, and do it. But that'll be at a later date and time, as we're going to jump right in and start talking about patch 8.1. It's a bunch of little changes in this patch, some bigger changes down further in when they tweak some of the runes, but we're going to go over some of the general ones first, and we're going to start with, if you close the item shop within 0.25 seconds of selling an item, the sale is canceled.
More of a PSA than anything else. I don't really think there's much to talk about here.
Yeah, it's a good PSA.
Did they give reasoning for this?
There are a lot of times where people were selling an item and then or were accidentally selling an item with the intent to undo it and then closing the shop and then reopening the shop, but then were unable to undo their sale, so to speak. And so basically, if you accidentally sell your item and then reopen the shop, you're not going to get penalized for that.
Yeah,
I don't know how
there's
many.
also-
I don't know how many times. A lot of times is, but it was happening enough to be a bother.
As someone who frequents ARAMs, it also happens when you die in ARAM and then you open the shop, purchase something, and then you're like, wait, I don't really need that. So then you go back, you open the shop again to sell it. When you respawn, you can't do that. So hopefully they fix that as well with this patch.
Yeah, I think it works both ways.
That's nice.
Other general patches or other general things are champions with manaless abilities such as Elise in Spider form and Italy in Cougar form can no longer stack Tear the Goddess with their manaless abilities.
So,
Good. That-
just
it's
Ezreal.
broken.
Just Ezreal's buying that item then. Got it.
Just Ezreal?
Yeah, I feel like it's not like these champions were getting that anyway, were they? Was Elise really going
No.
or at least
I don't think
Italy
Elise
really
ever
going for
was.
Seraphs?
You get
Italy
the
maybe
occasional
a
Swain
long time
who
ago.
builds it. That's about it.
Add one other bug
Or Anivia,
or
maybe.
other general. Did you
Whatever.
not put the other general fixes in here, or I didn't go through your document compared to the actual notes? Did you put in some of those other ones like the Cho'Gath E-bug?
Yeah, that's under Cho'Gath.
Okay, I didn't know if you put it under Cho'Gath or we're going to put it in like...
Oh,
the
but I've
fixes.
always done that. I don't know how you don't know this.
I do know this. I was just asking. Fixed a bug where many hard crowd controls would interrupt several charged channeled abilities even when they had been blocked by a spell. Shield. So, there you go. They just fixed a bunch of bugs that you probably didn't know were happening, and they did happen.
I had no idea.
No idea. Just like you won't have any
I
idea.
feel like a lot of those are almost just like, oh, okay, that did happen to me that one time. I'm not crazy. It's like giving people a little bit of peace of mind before they go back to games as usual.
Sure, I agree with that. It's kind of like the anecdotal evidence about Vayne's win rate increasing due to a bug that has not been confirmed or declined yet. So we'll see.
Oh, just you wait.
Oh, did they fix it in this patch? Did I miss that?
Yeah,
Dude, I played Vayne the other day.
open
and
your
I went like
goddamn
10-0.
mouth. That'll teach you.
Oh, look, they
If
did.
that can happen, then
See,
we're in a
they
bad
they
place.
confirmed it and they fixed it. Damn. Anyway, Kayle base stats: attack damage growth has gone down to 2.2. Innate bonus attack speed has gone down to 10% from 15%. Righteous Fury's cooldown was 16 at all ranks. Is now 18, scaling down to 14. Their reasoning behind this was something that it was that the runes changes made it hard for Kayle to have a Righteous Fury always up, but she was getting more damage
Yes.
from the runes than she previously was. So they wanted to
Yes.
tweak that.
Namely, Press the Attack and Lethal Tempo are her two top keystones. Even after Press the Attack got nerfed, people are still using that majority of the time. But I feel like that gets hit harder by that nerf to her attack speed, since you're getting those 3 attacks off slower now. And maybe 1 in 20 times you'll get one fewer empowered auto attack after Press the Attack
Wasn't she just getting
triggers.
a ridiculous fuckload of attack speed through precision?
Lethal Tempo.
Well, precision
Does give you a lot of
alacrity,
attack speed. Yeah, that is a main reason to why she's been at the top of the win rate for top lane.
Right.
It's just the entire precision tree, the keystone, the attack speed. I mean, it's perfect for her.
Wasn't the ideal Kayle rune page back in the day, just what was it, 21% attack speed? That was the max you
29,
could
yeah.
get? Yeah, it was just 29% attack
Oh,
speed.
the attack speed. Yep.
Or you could take 15 and then magic pen runes.
Why? Why bother? Attack speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has it on her passive, so you don't really
I'm
need
not.
it.
I'm not crazy about this Righteous Fury. Okay, obviously I'm biased because I'm the Kayle player here, right? But these are all warranted because she was the highest winning top laner or at least one of them for a while now. I'm not crazy about the Righteous Fury change because 2 seconds, a 2-second increase to her cooldown, early levels that'll go down quickly because you're leveling up first, but that gives your enemy more of a window to play around her, which people needed. 2 seconds when she doesn't have E off cooldown. Whenever E is off cooldown, Kayle is no threat whatsoever. She cannot fight. She can run away, and that's her only option. Like, she can't CS, she can't harass, she can't zone. But if E is off cooldown, even if it's not active, it's like a blitzcrank hook. The threat of it is still there. So, the longer time E is on cooldown, the sadder Kayle is. But then she gets it, she'll get it back sooner, late game, which she also needs, so. It's K.
It's K. It works. it brings her
It's K.
back more in line with how she should be, is what you're saying, and not crazy through the roof.
I guess.
Well, good.
I guess she's more balanced now.
Oh, that's too bad. Just like
Balance isn't
Heimerdinger.
fun.
Balancing Heimerdinger. Upgraded. The upgraded Q turrets. Base beam damage has been halved. It was 200, 270, 340. It is now 100, 140, 180 with a 0.7 ability power ratio that has been unchanged. He was doing too much damage.
That's a lot of damage.
So,
I mean, there's not a lot to say here. He got nerfed. He needed to get nerfed. I'm just glad whenever... I know there are really only a handful of Heimerdinger players out there and everything, but that champion is so unfun to play against when he's really strong, so...
And he's just kind of overpowered in Narums. So this is a good nerf to him.
I disagree. I don't think he's OP in ARAMs compared to some
Well,
other
no,
champions.
of course.
He's good.
Of course.
He's
There
not
are
OP.
some OP champions.
He's no He's no Vigar.
Yeah, he's no
for
Vigar.
example.
Yeah, or Ziggs.
But I don't know. Did he really need this?
I see him
sure
so
he's doing
infrequently.
well, but is he doing like well enough that you need to nerf him like this much?
I know. I wish Todd was here because Todd would be like vehemently, yes, he needed this.
Oh, with these top two changes, with Kayle and Heimerdinger,
top
yeah.
is just. I think it's just stupid because, yeah, you have high pressure on your lane and you take the tower and stuff, but you're like pretty much useless in team fights. It's not like you're teleporting in a Maokai or something, someone useful. I mean, you're playing Heimerdinger, you're just gonna split push all game, and there comes a point in every game as a Heimerdinger. I play Heimerdinger. You just can't 2v1 anymore because people have enough magic resistance to be able to sustain your turret damage, and then you just get one shot basically. So he relies on crushing people who don't understand how to play against him, because if you decide to gank him early, he's going to kill you. If you decide to gank him when he's level 6, you're going to get double killed.
Even bronze needs nerfs too, okay?
That's true. That's true. But then, I mean, now the champion just like, I mean, these nerfs aren't brutal. They're okay, but then it just makes them like not playable at higher levels.
All right, that's enough on Heimerdinger because no one plays Heimerdinger.
Okay.
I agree with you. That's fine. But it's Heimerdinger. What can you say?
Yeah, no one plays him, so who cares?
As I mentioned earlier with Dom going through the notes, there's always a bunch of fixes that we believe should be in the actual patch notes, but they just kind of, well, they are in the patch notes, but should be like in the actual list of champions, and they just kind of toss them to the wayside in the bug fix section. And one of those is Galio. Fixed a bug where Galio's shield from W, Shield of Durand, would expire rather than refresh 12 seconds after taking damage.
That's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
That's a pretty big bug fix.
That's a
I wonder why he was in the
huge deal
dumpster.
for Kayle.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you could just try to sneak that one in. Like, oh no, Galio players, you weren't crazy. This was happening. Like, that's a huge deal. The guy's supposed to be able to kind of like absorb a bunch of magic damage coming his way, and that lets him get into some of those shitty ranged matchups he's otherwise going to be in. And like this lets him deal with some of that stuff, and he was not being able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the current mid lane meta, like obviously Galio's at a disadvantage with all the poke mages and stuff, but I mean, this just makes him even worse.
Well, Gangplank got to change. His Q parlay now correctly goes on cooldown on cast start instead of cast end. I'm assuming people were out there abusing that quite a bit. And our Cannon Barrage's cooldown will no longer reset when buying the Raise Morale upgrade. If you listen to the Champions Like podcast, they talk about that. And, well, maybe, was it in the Champions Like podcast? I can't remember if he told me it after or in it. But he basically said this happens and you shouldn't do it, or I shouldn't tell people to do it. But it has been abused in the past. Like, you can have 2 ultimates going down on the field at one time.
Oh,
If I had known about that and had done that as Gangplank and gotten busted for it, my argument would have been like, isn't Gangplank fundamentally the champion who breaks the rules? Like, the design behind the champion is he breaks a lot of the normal rules for League of Legends, you know? He gets out of crowd control, he has an ult that can go anywhere on the map that they really don't do that with most champions. And
He's got a spell that can crit.
Yeah, you know, like a lot of different things that where Gangplank breaks the rules. So my attitude would have been like, is not the theme of the champion to break the rules. I kind of felt like you guys intentionally put this in there to see if people would just, you know, stick in line with the champ.
And they tried. But now they can't anymore. Or
yeah, I mean that's OP as hell, so I'm glad it's gone. But
I want to say they, oh god, I'm not gonna. I'll put my foot in my mouth if I keep talking about it. I just can't. I remember talking about it. That's it. So Ornn, his W, Bellows Breath, the Brittle proc, and the Grasp of the Dying Keystone rune no longer apply their effects if the attack that would apply them is blocked.
So we're talking like Jax and Fiora
Pantheon.
and those types of things, right?
I was thinking Pantheon.
Yeah.
Doesn't really do much. Ornn is still super fucking powerful.
Maybe
after all
Jax?
this.
Jax when he can dodge, yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know what they mean by block when they say blocked.
Okay.
They've got keywords for everything.
Okay.
Maybe Jax's dodge isn't a block.
Right.
So maybe it's just Pantheon.
Maybe, I don't know. Braum shield, is that a block?
No, that's not gonna block a melee.
But he's blocking with a shield. What is it then?
I know, but it's not gonna block a melee attack.
Yeah, there's only a handful.
Fix your keywords.
Cho'Gath,
right.
E, Vorpal spikes, and powered attacks no longer interrupt the basic attacks of enemy champions they hit. That seems kind of big.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Glad they did that. Good fix.
It's kind of unreal how many of the bug fixes were on top laners.
Well, top lane's about to get a whole injection of new people playing up there with the resolve tree getting a change, so it's probably okay.
Yeah.
Graves, they've made some changes to the junglers. Q, end of the line. The cost has decreased. It was 60 to 100 mana. It is now 60 to 80 mana. The cooldown was 14 to 10 seconds. It is now 13 to 9 seconds, allowing him to clear a little bit faster out of the jungle. And W Smokescreen slow strength is now 50% at all ranks, and the duration is now only 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, he still sucks. He doesn't have a good keystone.
Electric Q doesn't work on him.
It's fine, but it doesn't synergize that super well, and he just needs more damage, to be perfectly honest. He doesn't deal enough in the jungle right now, and these are okay changes, but mana cost early, you have blue buffs, doesn't really matter. And Graves is the type of jungler that wants to invade all the time. So, the smoke screen, 50% slow, might be a bit better. Maybe help him get his ganks off a little more consistently.
But
once again, I'm not a big Graves player, so I can't speak to this too much.
The 50% slow kind of stands out as the big deal to me. Would that almost push him towards a solo lane? I know for a minute there, Graves was getting played everywhere that he could just because he was hitting like a truck no matter what you did. And then after he got nerfed a little bit, he was still seeing play, mostly in the jungle, but he was getting played out of top lane. And I just find myself wondering, is that 50% slow, even for a half second, a bigger deal in a solo lane than it is out of the jungle?
It seems like a pretty good ganking tool.
Yeah, it's good. 50, especially since that's just 1.1 early, you don't really max smokescreen till they're 14 or whatever. Because I wouldn't say it's useful, but I mean, you don't really use it that much. You put it in choke points when people are trying to team fight, and then you use it to slow people down. So yeah, it could help. But the reason he was played in the jungle instead of top lane and stuff is because he basically got a free pass through his not terrible early game, but it's definitely not his power spike, right? He definitely waits for warrior to be super powerful, and moving a champion to the jungle makes them a little bit more safer because they don't have to skirmish as early against the likes of your Fioras and Rivens and stuff. So
left to be seen. Skarner changes. Base stats, base mana has been increased from 272.2 to 320. E fracture, the proc damage has also been increased. It was 25 to 65, is now 30 to 110, and the proc stun duration is now 1.5 seconds. I gotta imagine giving Skarner a little bit more base mana helps him out quite a bit. I know he has blue early, but rolling into that first back phase when he has blue.
Those are all real nice changes. It's a lot of damage, and then more stun. Yeah, please. Why not?
I low-key wonder if he's going to be a lot better because of the changes to the resolve tree, just suddenly being able to get health and attack speed instead of having to go into precision, which he probably otherwise wouldn't want. Being able to go into precision secondary isn't a killer.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a good change. I don't think Skarner was particularly... He's never been terrible. There's just always been people that sort of do his job better than him, but this certainly is a nice... very nice upgrade because his ganks aren't bad. I mean, obviously, he doesn't have a gap closer, so he's at that disadvantage, but he does have pretty insane skirmishing power come mid-game. And a 1.5 second stun, I mean, you can kind of forget the damage because you're not going to be maxing this skill right away. The fact that it's been increased by 0.5 a second puts it on par with Elise, and it's not bad.
Puts it on par, but you still got to proc it.
But you have to be able to get up to the champion, right? Exactly. So you still have to get up to the champion and smack him down. And the mana is going to help because he's a mana-hungry champion. You almost have to build a mana item on him, whether it's Trinity Force if you're fed or Frozen Heart or something, or the Go Fast one.
Righteous Glory. I kind of feel like Righteous Glory would be good no matter what.
Yeah, pretty much.
He kind of falls in that weird spot where
with him.
He needs a Sheen item. He's not going to necessarily... If he picks up Trinity Force, he's too fucking squishy, and if he goes Iceborne Gauntlet, it's not great.
Gauntlet, yeah.
I mean, it's fine for what it does, but he doesn't necessarily need it. But he more... Skarner's just weird. He kind of needs a Trinity Force to be good, but he's too fucking squishy with it.
And the thing is, like, the problem with Skarner is, like, why wouldn't you... Like, let's just directly compare him to Warwick. Why wouldn't you just play Warwick? He's better at pretty much everything. He's better at moving around the map. He has the same... You can compare... The fear is comparable to the sort of stun. It's not easy proc, you have to get up to them, and then the ultimate's very similar. So yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't just play him. And that's Skarner's problem. I think he just needs a rework, to be honest.
Get rid of those spires. Stupid spires.
Yeah, that minigame.
Yeah, I want to play him in top lane. Come on.
It wasn't fun. It wasn't even a good idea when they redid that.
They dropped. He was broken as all hell, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna nerf him." And now he just hasn't been played in years. And I just feel bad because he's such a cool design. I like.
That's why I agree with Punch. I know we're spending a lot of time on Skarner here, but I agree with Punch. Just if you drop the spires and put some of that power back into his kit, he could be played as a top laner.
It just never made sense to try and balance him around the spires that are only in very specific parts of the map. And if he's in them, he's overpowered, and if he's not in them, he's supposed to be
and you have to
somewhere
rely on
between
your
balanced
teammates
and
for them
weak.
as well.
I can't recall when they did that change, but I feel like the jungle items we have now didn't exist at the time that they were doing those spires. So they were trying to address his mana issues because the itemization didn't exist at the time. But now the itemization kind of does exist. So get rid of the spires, and maybe like if he's still having mana problems, you can tone down his cost a little bit like they did here. But, and if you choose to play him top lane, you understand what the limitations are going to be.
Get rid of him.
But get rid of those spires.
They were a good experiment, but they didn't work.
I'm trying to find out when that change happened because maybe it'll be a foot.
That was a while ago now.
In my mouth, yeah.
I'm gonna say
5.16 was
so,
the Crystal Spires.
All right, let's move on to Evelyn. E-Whiplash no longer goes on cooldown if it fizzles due to Evelyn losing vision of her target during its cast time. Is E the charm?
Okay.
No, it's the auto attack reset. That like crits with magic damage. It's really good. Eva's like probably the second best jungler right now, potentially tied for the first. But she's the best jungler in high elo and potentially the
better
best
than
in
Shyvana's
like,
and
mid-tiers. Tied with Shyvana. Especially the higher you climb, because Eve, like I've said this many times before, I've been playing her quite a bit recently. She's kind of weak in the early game. She has some potential, but as soon as you hit level 6, you are just an absolute monster. And her kit is so overloaded. You have the nice crowd control, the auto attack reset to like execute with Lichbane, and then your execute takes you out of the fight and you're safe. And then you can go into stealth and do it all again if the team fight lasts a long time.
Win percentage wise, she's currently ahead of Shyvana. Shyvana's picked more, but it's not like Eve is picked, 0.02. She's at a healthy pick rate, so.
She's a nightmare to play against right now.
Yeah, no, I hate running into a good Evelyn.
Obviously, bad Evelyns are worse than bad Shyvanas, though. So
yeah, Shyvana's.
She's my go-to band.
Udyr is actually king of the board.
Yeah, I don't know how necessarily true that is.
We talked about it on the Patreon podcast, but it's hard to find a bad jungler.
Are you looking at LoLlytics for your stats now?
I'm looking at OPGG.
You guys can switch it. It was Champion GG, then it was all LoLlytics, now it's OPGG.
You can just look at all of them together and sort of figure out the meta, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
looking them all together.
Can't go to multiple websites. You crazy? That's way too much work.
Perfect time to plug that Patreon episode, though. That should be coming out pretty soon. We've got it all recorded, and Lance is just working on it.
Why can't I, by tier, why can't I change it by, like, jungle on OPGG?
You can.
You can use it. There's, like, tabs for it.
Type,
5 tabs.
League, time, map, and queue. I wanted to look at this while we're talking. Statistics.
I don't know
Maybe
where
I
you're
gotta look at leaderboards or some shit or champions. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. At this point, I figured it out. I gotta look at champions.
It's under champions.
I linked it in Slack for you.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Rengar. Rengar can no longer extend his leap range from brush via Hextech Flash Traption. Yay.
Well, that sounds like a cool interaction.
That's pretty cool. I wish that was in the game.
No, fuck
Man.
that. Fuck that champion.
I mean,
I hate it when that
it sucks to
champion
be
is
playing
anything close
against him,
together.
but it's like, I don't know. That's a cool little nifty trick.
No, fuck that. Fuck that champion. Sorry, Benson.
Yeah,
I was banning
Rengar's
Rengar
Sorry, Bow Bow.
forever,
bad right
up until
now.
the
He's
point that Shyvana started wrecking my
Definitely
face,
playable.
then I started banning Shyvana. So
Mm. Yeah. I mean, there's probably like 20 better junglers than him. but
Every
he's still
champion with
playable.
stealth, though, has just like an OP element to them right now.
Yeah, he also has a nice keystone, so...
right. Nidalee Q Cougar
Dark Harvest.
takedown no longer damages enemies if its empowered attack is dodged. Right. Congrats to the few
Dodged,
people that have
not
that
blocked.
happen to.
Yeah.
Well-
Good point. Good point, Punch. So
Yes.
I guess Jax.
Yes. Jax.
I guess.
Syndra.
Just say Jax.
Right? I mean, like, that seems like what a
Syndra.
clear,
And now
clarified
mid-laners are
everything.
unleash power. All dark spheres now consistently fly at unleash power's target, even if the target dies or goes invulnerable. The 3 spheres orbiting Syndra now properly materialize, even if unleash power's target dies as the ability is cast. Syndra's movement no longer becomes funky for a few seconds if unleash power's target dies before all spheres have been fired. The dark spheres that didn't damage unleash power's target now properly interact with Syndra's other abilities. Dark spheres that didn't damage unleash power's target no longer move erratically when affected by Syndra's other abilities. And dark spheres created shortly after unleash power ends no longer move erratically when affected by Syndra's other abilities. I have noticed that erratic moving of they kind of like jolt and jitter when you try to use them.
So it sounds like now, once you use her R, Unleash Power, things are going to behave the way you expect them to, as opposed to
Yes.
not doing that, which apparently was the case.
Clap. Yes. Unleash power should now work as you expect it to work. That's what.
I mean,
Or maybe.
I'll be curious to see what this does for Syndra.
There's still
She's
probably
other
another
health,
20
but-
bugs or so.
According to our friend from, well, he's about 2 years ago at this point, Serial's friend, Syndra has a whole load of bugs that'll never be fixed, and you can abuse the fuck out of them, and they will not get banned for it. So have fun Googling. Zoe Q Paddlestar no longer, now takes longer to register Zoe's new passive. Why did I say Zoe? Q Paddlestar now takes longer to register Zoe's new position for purposes of calculating damage when casting R portal jump. That was a mouthful. Right.
They're just trying to make that harder
Spell
to-
Thief,
to
minions
do.
can no longer drop shards for Hextech Gunblade. I think a lot of people were screaming about that. Thank God. Sleepy Trouble Bubbles delay before the trap it created is now 0.8 seconds. I thought it was... Oh, no, that's what it is. Portal Jump's delay before the exit portal appears is now 0 seconds instead of 0.1 second. Sleepy Trouble Bubble was like the big one here, right?
Sleepy Bubble Trouble. That's her problem ability. Why does it make it do true damage if you hit them? It's also like very difficult to dodge when a good Zoe uses her ultimate and then activates the trap on it. So then you get hit by it, and then you get hit by the Q.
She's still
which is
got too
coming,
much going on.
and then you die.
Still bannable.
Yep.
I'd say still bannable.
And you get gun bladed.
And you get guns.
Nerfs coming. Probably keep playing Zoe, and we'll see what the hell happens. Vayne, the first Q tumble attack out of R's final hour. Stealth can now correctly be heard and seen.
That's nice.
There was a lot of speculation
to
going
see-
around that Vayne's win rate wasn't because of any particular changes, but because of that bug.
Based on the analytics, she's still doing really well even after one day of this, because the rest of the world's been on this patch longer than we have.
That's
That'll
all
be
right.
real
It's
nice
still
to
a good
play
bug.
against. Number of times I've had to play against Vayne recently, usually with Camille, just so I can alter, and then kill her. It'd be real
the
nice to fight her without her getting one free auto attack off before I can do anything.
The real, I think the real problem with AD carries is like, yeah, Vayne's good, but the relic shield, overheal, fleet footwork thing is stupid.
And
I think they need to nerf that. And obviously they didn't, because they put this patch in probably when they went for their Christmas holidays, and they're like, oh, we'll release that.
I mean, and the problem is, like, that's been a problem since Worlds. Like, yes, overheal and fleet footwork. I mean, but fleet footwork had the Warlord's Bloodlust or whatever the hell it was called later on. So they had a comparable mastery for worlds and everything, and everybody was doing this. Part of it was the gold gen element and everything, but the other part was that, hey, it provides a lot of security to AD carries. And don't forget that the quest reward was always a shield for Targons.
Right.
And that's what 80s want, right? Isn't that what you want, Adam? Security in the early game?
That'd be great.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It was the very first day that we talked about these. I tried this exact thing, overheal, and all that kind of stuff. But everyone and their brother was just running crazy, insane damage, and they were all trying to just, tons of fucking assassins rolling around. Not the meta's kind of slowing in. I'm like, all right,
You were
I feel
ahead of
pretty
your
good about
time.
that. For once in life.
Did it feel like you had a baby Warmogs in lane?
That game, no, but we ran into something fucking weird. I don't remember what it was.
I was probably playing Karma or something too, something that's not going to do particularly well with it.
Either way, they have to put like a punishment for lasting minions after taking one with the Targons, or make it just melee only.
It should just be melee only. That fixes so many of the problems with it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Thresh players.
Whatever. Thresh players get to be ranged attackers. Like, yes,
Right.
fine. You
Coin.
don't get the cool item in it, or you don't get that tankier item. Too fucking bad. You're Thresh. You can already do a lot of cool shit. Plus, you have the advantage in every melee matchup you get into.
Oh yeah, that wasn't sarcastic. That was fuck you, Thresh players.
Isn't Coin perfectly fine on him too? Because you can get that item that makes you go faster.
Yeah,
And you just
Coin's
let
great
people
on him.
hook 'em.
All right, let's talk about Brand, and then we'll go into runes. Brand had his passive damage increased to 4% of the target's maximum health per stack rather than 2%, because DFT was giving him too much damage, so they nerfed it, and now they're giving it back because DFT is no longer in the game. So Brand is still Brand. And doing
Hooray.
Great. That's all he needed.
Now wait on.
Obviously,
wait
he's
until
doing
what,
poorly.
8.3, 8.4, maybe 8.5 when they introduce they get rid of that 800 gold requirement for Sightstone.
Well, sorta.
Well, they're not making you buy Sightstone anymore, so that 800 gold requirement is now, you can push that into your support item,
Yeah.
which is still more damage early for him. Assuming he wants Sightstone, but probably nobody else listening to this show knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Not you guys, the listeners. Anyway, runes. Predator. If Predator's channel is interrupted, 50% of the cooldown is now refunded. Thank God. That's good. It was too long. What was it, like 200 seconds or something like that? Early? 175 seconds. If Predator's bonus damage is procced via an area of effectability, it will now prioritize the lowest health target hit. And Predator's rate of movement speed increase is increased by 50% for the first second and half of the effect.
Isn't that middle part huge for someone like Kha'Zix?
Now probably just no.
No,
The area of effect one?
Yeah.
No, because Kazakh isn't gonna ever take
Because
Predator.
his jump has an AoE element, if I'm recalling correctly.
It does 50 damage.
And the Vorpal spikes also have it. I mean, and Predator's not like amplifying the damage of the ability; it's just bonus damage, right?
You see how it prioritizes the lowest health target, but if your Kazakh's jumping into a place where your jump's hitting multiple people, you're probably gonna die anyways.
I guess I'm thinking of situations like where you're coming down bot lane and you're jumping on the support and the AD carry who happen to be on top of each other and everything. And previously there was a chance that the support being of the one with the higher health would take the Predator damage, and the AD carry maybe would get out of it. I mean, I'm not sure this was affecting that many things, but I do just see cases like that where it might have actually made a difference.
I think you're thinking more of like Cho'Gath, who could take Predator, pop up, and then E auto attack, and then they would get the Predator proc on whatever Vorpal spike it's hitting.
Or Skarner.
First. Skarner too. Yeah, but no one. I think the only people I see taking Predator, the only person I've ever seen take Predator is Cho'Gath.
Olaf?
Hecarim,
Oh,
dude.
and a Hecarim, sure,
Seen Hecarim.
Hecarim, yeah.
I've seen Alstars do it, but that was like early on when everybody was screwing around with runes.
Wasn't Chira doing it with Olaf? And he was like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. And he was like throwing axes at people.
Predator's good, yeah.
Killing
it just
people.
needs some workarounds, and some of the other
He was
runes
the
are still
Viking man.
overtuned.
Like Electrocute is still better on Skarner, or not Skarner, sorry, Kazakhs, for example, because you just have so many different ways to proc it.
Yeah, and having consistency out of the jungle is so important for your early pressure, right?
Well,
So
yeah,
knowing that you're going to get that damage guaranteed.
you essentially don't have a keystone with Predator out of the jungle until you get your tier 2 boots, and you're not buying tier 2 boots right away, generally speaking. So yeah, I see where you're going with that. The big one in this patch, though, is the Resolve path stat bonuses. Something that I've bitched about. Never got to bitch about it on the podcast, but hey, here it is. Resolve, when you now mix Resolve with any of the other trees, either primary or secondary, it's no longer doing just like a flat amount of health. You're now getting extra stats with it. So example, Resolve plus Precision is now 65 health plus 9% attack speed. You have 65 health plus 9 ability power or 5.4 attack damage adaptive with Domination. Sorcery is 10 ability power, 6 attack damage adaptive. And then on the then it's the same thing, flipped around the other way.
If you take Resolve secondary,
right.
yeah.
I feel like the new Resolve Precision combination is huge for junglers. Because now they have a keystone combination that lets them go into the Resolve tree, which is generally pretty good, and gives them attack speed still.
It's really good. Yeah. And a lot of those tank junglers like attack speed. Like Sejuani, I used to take AP, blue, 15 AP, 15% attack speed, and then armor and MR.
Right. Well, think about like Gragas.
It helps a bunch of people with their
where
clears.
he can roll into that. He can either do Resolve first or Resolve second, and he's not going to be mad with Resolve second out of any of those trees that he picks primary. Anybody, even this is good for top lane. Camille is now getting the attack speed if she wants to pick up Grasp of the Undying, for example.
Love it. Loving it.
But
Very good.
like honestly, it's mostly bad for supports because hey, I mean the stats are kind of nice, but more often than not, I just preferred having that huge chunk of health. And a lot of times I was taking Celestial Body to get another bonus 100 health, and it was like, yeah, you're not gonna kill me during the early game and everything. Try it.
Mm-hmm. So I think this goes a long way to fixing a lot of those issues. Like Punch is over here giving the thumbs up, but there's a lot of top laners that were bitching because they didn't get that extra attack speed that they had through runes previously.
Now, if I swap hats and put on the AD carry hat, I don't know if I love this, particularly for the attack speed AD carries.
I don't think it's that bad.
You know, like,
I don't think it's that bad at all. It's something that like I think I talked about previously.
I don't want to give up 9% attack speed. I'd
But
rather
how
have
often-
the 18% or the.
But how
yeah,
often were you
whatever.
going Precision Resolve as AD carry?
That's the thing. I not very often, but if you're in a bad, like if you're Tristana and your lane isn't great and you're going up against another lane that's just going to make it harder for you, you just might want that extra armor or magic resist and the healing when you take damage.
I guess,
But
I
you
feel
don't really
like
have that
you're
option
You're
now.
still just better off going Precision Domination to get all of the healing you could possibly get.
That's probably what you'd do now. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have nerf relic shield, so I think that's going to be pretty prevalent in this patch, right? Until something happens to it.
Did they nerf Relic Shield? Did we?
Yeah,
go
you're
over
probably
that?
going domination or
No,
sorcery
they-
depending on who you're
no,
playing.
they didn't.
It's embarrassing that they have ignored Relic Shield for as long as they have.
Yeah, it's been a problem since Worlds. Dom's totally right.
Yeah, it's this will be really good. I'm really interested to see the top laners that'll be able to come back in here with the extra attack speed or damage or whatever it is. And some of the junglers, they're not. I don't think they'll necessarily bump up to being above, we'll say 52%, being that that good spot. But people like Gragas and those that are struggling could probably eat closer to 50%. Gragas is all the way down at 45.5% out of the jungle right now. And I have to imagine having shitty keystones doesn't help.
I mean, mostly Gragas because he's been nerfed he's only been nerfed for the last maybe 10 patches or whatever. It hasn't got a buff in ages. They were like, oh, Gragas too good, and when they nerfed his ultimate, they're like, that should do it. No, he's still pretty damn good when he could just E-flash
They
and you
did
can't
nerf
stop
that
it.
E-flash thing, didn't they?
Yeah, he's been nerfed into the ground.
That's
for
all right.
sure.
Sometimes champions who have 3 years of spotlight can take a break for 3 years.
Yeah, like Jarvan did. Now he's back. So, say goodbye to
Well,
Gragas.
Jarvan was bad for a very long time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Jarvan just it's not like he got huge changes. He needed the meta to swing in favor of him. Jarvan pissed me off.
Yeah,
Jarvan has pissed me off for a long time. I'm pretty sure there are other shows like in the 100, 200 range where I was not happy about Jarvan, and that attitude did not
Free
change.
stats for everyone!
Yeah, we went over this when We went over this in the meta
Oh,
report.
yeah.
Like, Gragas and Jarvan are so versatile. It's very hard to, set them off their game plan because they're fed. They can just go damage, and if they're not, then they can just go tanky and peel. So, pretty
I
good.
wonder if this kills Mundo a little bit out of the top lane. Because wasn't he doing
Kills
decently
Mundo.
well? I guess maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking prior to some of the patch changes.
Isn't Mundo going?
I think
Yeah,
he'll be
no,
okay.
he's not. I mean, he's at 47.84%, but I think it'll make this kind of makes it worse because he likes the flat health, the flat 165 health over extra damage.
Yeah, attack speed isn't terrible on him.
Or
He'll be fine.
it could be better because now he can go sorcery resolve, get the flat health still, and have permanent. Every time he hits a cleaver, hits that arcane comet.
Think about the airy procs with his W. It's like Timo.
I kinda like that. I like that comment. Oh man.
I think they should probably nerf mana flow band again.
Well,
Again.
I think it's still. I think it's
I love
still
having
I think
free
everybody
mana.
likes having free mana. That's
But you're right,
Probably
it
not
is
gonna
really
be
good.
nerfed.
Like I like it as like obviously I sympathize with Dom in that it's nice on a support, but I think it's too good for mid laners.
It's too good for
It
anybody.
gives them
buddy.
too much safety.
It needs to. I don't think they need to nerf the frequency of it. I think they need to nerf the restoration on it. And I would
Maybe
like
like
it to be very
50%, right?
gradual. Like it's at 8%. I would like it to start by just taking it down to 7%. And if that still feels too good, take it down to 6. Like you don't go crazy on the nerfs here.
Hey, let's talk about electrocute real fast since we're kind of going off the wall, and that's the last change in this patch. Electrocute ally hits will no longer count toward electrocute if both allies have the keystone equipped.
I thought they fixed this a while ago, or was that precision?
I thought this was
Yeah,
too.
that was press the attack. So I guess it's not
Hmm.
surprising that the issue is here, but
They coded it to be if electrocute hits 3 times, proc it, and then they were like, "Oh fuck, we got to make this champion specific." Well, time to add another 100 lines of code.
it also makes me wonder if Thunderlord's Decree was ever doing this, and we just never really realized it.
I think they would have realized it because Thunderlords was being used by almost literally everybody.
Everyone? Yeah, it
For a
was 10
stretch there.
Thunderlords.
League of Thunderlords.
Right. So then again, maybe we just saw so many goddamn lightning bolts being called down all the time.
We
that
didn't
none of us
realize there
knew
was
what the fuck
one
was
less
going
than
on.
there was supposed to be,
Right. So that's it. That's patch 8.1. I hear this meta report's coming out. That's a Patreon subscribers only podcast, the $5 tier. You can go sign up at any point in time and go get that podcast. It'll be out this week. As soon as Lancer gets it to me, I'll post it up out there. Good stuff. Was it just you and Dom, or was it you, Dom?
Yeah, it was me, Dom, and
Misha Brady?
Vrail.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a cheeky little discussion. It was actually quite long. It cracked an hour, and we went right over the meta. It was good. Talked a bit about climbing in the early parts of the season as well. Some nice tips in there. Should get you ready for what you need to know.
Yes, that's right. $5 a month. You guys get the podcast. Beaver's gonna put 12 of them out this year. I hear he's got some good ones coming about duo, solo.
Yeah,
duo.
how to climb with duo queues, how to climb with solo queue. Yeah, all sorts of stuff gonna be planned.
And hopefully we can put some of that into practice as we start to talk about ranked 5s and whatnot. As I'm telling you guys, I know none of you guys have been on, right? Like over the last month, like nobody, even myself, have really not been on League. But as we push here toward the January 16th, we really got to pick a day where we can all sit down and do some flex queue.
Speak for yourself, dude.
I'm
just-
on
How about
We've
you?
all been
pretty
rocking the
regularly.
preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I had these last 4 days off, and I'd log on and no one's on. But then, granted, you guys are working, but it'd be like weekends.
Yes,
What
we
was
are
it? It's like
working.
last week. I'm like logging on Saturday and Sunday. No one's on all day. I'm like, come on,
You
guys.
log on when I'm at
play.
work or when I'm sleeping. That's when you log on.
Oh, excuse me for logging on at 9 o'clock.
That's way
Sorry
too
that I
late,
sat
man.
down at a normal time.
It's
to play
almost
the
9
video
o'clock right
game.
now.
You-
I might pass out in a few minutes.
You have my phone number. Although you did text Saturday and I just wasn't around.
Yeah, you
You also
son
have
of a
my phone
bitch.
number.
Pity, you know what? To be fair, you text me the weekend before, and I'm like, nah, I'm out drinking.
Yeah.
So-
So
I think when the rank season starts, we'll get it together for sure.
You're right. I want to hit diamond and flex queue this season because we were close last year and we weren't
That'll
even
be
trying.
easy.
Very close.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We
The
weren't.
hard part will be
Guys.
getting together.
You guys
Right.
might need a better support if you want to do that.
Now we'll be.
Oh, you're a great support. You're diamond level support. Come on.
I've never hit
Your
diamond,
game
so I'm
knowledge
not
is-
a
your game
diamond
knowledge
level
is too
support.
strong. That's because you just don't play lots of solo queue, do you?
It's your teammate's fault.
Play
Just blame your
It's the
teammate.
jungler's fault.
It's a jungler's fault, dude. They don't gank enough for your amazing setup.
Okay.
All right,
don't
we're
think
gonna
about it.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna call it there, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Trinity Force Podcast. We'll see you for episode 502 on Monday. Have a good one. Peace.
Later.
See ya.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to our product and being a member of the Trinity Force Network community. If you have a moment, please head over to iTunes and give your favorite show a comment and a rating. If you're so inclined, you can check out all of the other great shows in the network. We've got a wide variety of content from League of Legends to general gaming and role-playing podcasts. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we can be found on Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit under T-Force Network. We've also got a Patreon under that name where you can support your favorite shows with a small donation each month. Thanks again for listening, and we hope you continue to enjoy all of our podcasts, videos, and the community that we've provided.